Now, ever since Katy Perry took part in that spaceflight via Blue Origin on April 14th, we have seen this constant, widespread backlash against her for valid reasons. We know that she used this opportunity as a publicity stunt. We know that her emotions, her overall reactions on board were all inauthentic, very phony and fake, as typical as Katy Perry usually is. What's interesting here, though, has a lot to do with the fact that Katy Perry keeps doubling down on damage control, doubling down on really defending her Lifetime's tour and everything else going on in between. There's a lot of things to discuss here because Katy Perry recently admitted something very crucial when it comes to not just her career, but also when it comes to her spaceflight via Blue Origin. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. So one thing about Katy Perry right now is that yes, we know that her Lifetime's tour is just not doing all that well at all in specific US markets. Tickets just are not selling, and they honestly weren't selling even before the space flight, but afterwards it really did get a lot worse than anyone would even imagine. What's interesting here, though, has a lot more to do with the fact that Katy Perry is doubling down on defending not just her overall way of reacting on the space flight, but also exactly what's been going on with the Lifetime's tour and really going at it against critics yet again. And look, this is what I always like to say and put out there. The more that she keeps doing this, she's only making matters worse for herself, and she's elongating the backlash. She's only making it worse. So let's get into the overall details about what's going on here with Katy Perry and what she recently admitted when it comes to her overall career as a singer/performer. Now, with the Katy Perry backlash still not going away anytime soon, as much as she hopes the more that she doubles down on damage control, one major development going on now involves more to do with Katy Perry actually admitting a certain truth about her career after the spaceflight backlash. Now, Perry delivered the following. Well, if I had to say one thing, I will say this. I have been dealing with historical challenges in my career ever since I decided to go up in space to do something so brave and powerful that people are obviously taking the wrong way. And these challenges are really hindering my motivation. They are hindering my focus, and we just don't seem to be reaching the amount of people that we should with our Lifetime's tour, and that's why I am really asking for everyone to witness this revolutionary experience with me and what we did to really create a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to embrace yourself in an experience that you are able to participate in real time. The problem is when you are dealing with widespread criticism, you lose your focus. You can lose your focus as well in the entirety of things. And to be quite upfront, I just don't know what I have lined up beyond this tour. When you are someone who is in the arts and values art, you need a steady state of mind to focus yourself. And I'm just not there right now. And we are obviously and unfortunately just not reaching those numbers. The numbers of people as we should. And that's all happening for the wrong reasons. I don't think that the brave women on board of that flight deserved the criticism that they did, including me. Our reactions were as authentic as can be and as real as one can actually imagine. And this is why I felt it was necessary to take inspiration from that flight to use in my concerts for lifetimes. And I have some other surprises on the horizon, some other surprises coming that will for sure take people into a shock. Now guys, let me just stop right there for a moment about Katy Perry. Again, she's going on talking in circles like she always does. She's really providing this word salad, if you will, when it comes to her career, when it comes to her spaceflight experience. I think at this point she's just spiraling out of control. She doesn't really, quite frankly, know what to do anymore, especially after that leaked footage occurred on social media. I don't know if you guys saw it. That choreography of hers was not only cringeworthy, it actually steered away a lot of Katy Perry fans, really beginning to question themselves, what is going on with Katy Perry now? What is she doing? And that's exactly why I think that she is beginning to really come forward day in and day out, really trying to stabilize her career at all costs. So again, we know that number one, the space flight. She admitted just a couple of days ago that she is willing to do that again. She is willing to actually work with Blue Origin again, to go up in space, quote unquote, again. Even if it does bring on more backlash, she wants to double down on her adventure to reaching the edge of space. Again, she's just asking for more issues. I don't know why she's doing this, who knows, but let's go on further. She goes on to elaborate yet again. We just need to reach more people. People need to learn to have fun again. And that fun is all here at Lifetimes. So don't miss this opportunity. When you are a singer and performer, you value creativity. And it's why I use the sets that I do, and the dance moves that I do, and choreography that I create myself. And also, much of that will be inspired by my space flight in the coming months, and everyone will see a revolutionary take on how performances can be done on stage. Everyone needs to understand me as a person better, and they will with my Lifetimes tour. My flight to space should have nothing to do with how people view my performance. I think now we live in an age of social media where failure is celebrated, and it's just such a terrible behavior coming from those that don't understand that I am a human being. My emotions are my emotions, and how I reacted on that flight was coming from the most authentic place. It is disheartening, for sure, to hear people say that it was a publicity stunt. It is so far from the truth. Even though I am using that experience in the tour, it should have nothing to do with those claims coming from so many critics out there across. So again, let me just stop here about what Katy Perry is spewing. The fact that she is doubling down on the fact that what she did was so brave and courageous and something that should be in the history books. It's comments like those that make her sound so egotistical that this is exactly why she's losing fans now. In fact, believe it or not, she is losing millions of fans across the board because of what she did on the space flight and how she reacted, how she really acted like, it was the biggest thing in, history, the greatest accomplishment on Earth, and really just talked in circles about this time and time again. Again, though, what's interesting here, when you really examine this, when you take a closer look at the Lifetimes tour, all the training and the rehearsals that she's going through, even the rehearsals are not going as planned. She's coming across as very unprepared. She doesn't really, quite frankly, know what she's doing anymore. And that's really driving away a lot of trust within our own fans about even spending the large sums of money on those concerts, because look, they're not cheap. Let's be very real about this. They're very expensive. When you look at some of those concerts, some of those dates, believe me, some of these dates and some of those concerts people could not afford. So that's exactly why Katy Perry is also not reaching a lot of people out there. It doesn't have to just do with the sales. That's part of it, yes, but it also has a lot to do with the way that she's acting, how she keeps doubling down on damage control, how she keeps coming across as a very insufferable individual. People are beginning to wake up about Katy Perry's nonsense, and look, it's comments like this that are driving people away. It's comments like what she actually spewed when she came back down from Blue Origin that also drove a lot of people away. And the longer she does this, it's not going to help things, especially after saying how she's open to doing this again with Blue Origin. Look, I can only imagine how that's going to go down, right? But overall, I would like to hear what everyone has to say about Katy Perry's choreography leaks, everything else going on with her Lifetimes tour, and how she's basically admitting now that, yeah, they're not reaching those numbers. They're not reaching the amount of people at anywhere near as they should. But overall, I would like to hear what you all have to say about that below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.